What is this? Dr. Umar Johnson confronted by LGBT feminists during Exceed in Life program KC 2015. 2015? We really are going back to the past. What is this? Dr. Umar... Oh, it has 4 million views. I think I remember somebody sending me this as somebody said it's like an origin of a lot of anti-LGBT talking points or something. Like something like that.
Who's my number 4? Queen.
I'm actually going to pass it to my sister after we...
Can you do a brief rundown on how Dr. Umar is? Well, considering I don't know myself, I'm just going to be paraphrasing. Well, okay, so I look up Dr. Umar, and here's what I've got. Dr. Umar is totally against interracial marriage, war against the black man. Is this guy a Hotep? Oh, he's a Hotep, isn't he? He's a Hotep, isn't he? This is a 5 million sub thing. I've said this before, but man, people give... This is black privilege, dude. People give black people the past have awful opinions on a whole bunch of shit. You know what I mean? Unironically. Like the race, segregation, interracial marriage, miscegenation, all that shit. People give, like, it's like, oh, well, you don't have systemic power, so you get to have whatever fucking bad opinion. No, you don't. Fuck you. Are lower in status economically than a lot of men. Like, that's a mathematical guarantee if most women are in worse economic positions. Like, yeah, if women are more likely to be houseweavers or get paid less or work jobs that pay less or are more likely to, like, sit and have childbirth or what, like, yeah, then obviously they're going to be in a lower economic position and will need to supplement that by tending to look towards men with greater economic security. So yeah, this is an example of a person using a real problem to justify a very, like, bad... This is like when people blame immigration for lowering wages. If you actually care about the security of the black family, then you would care about restructuring welfare incentives, which are the main reason why poor black families don't get married to each other, like, don't marry within the groups. But, like, if you care about real solutions to this, like, stopping miscegenation is never actually going to be a part of it, because you can scream and shout all you want, but white and black people are still going to get married, okay? That shit's not going to change. So you got to focus on systemic solutions to this, all right? You're never, ever going to affect change by getting angry at people loving each other. And you talk about marriage like it's an economic contract, and while that's definitely a huge part of it, people tend to get married to people they like. This is a personal decision, you know? You're not going to be... You can't move mountains by telling people to choose better people to love. What do you want? All these, like, what? Black men going after white women to, like, ignore white women they love and go after black... Like, what, you're going to force that? How does that happen? It's not. It's stupid. This is the same impotent, facile... anti-miscegenation bullshit you get from white racists who talk about, you know, how whiteness is dying out and white culture, blah, blah, and they treat marriage like every single white person's family decisions are part of some kind of gigantic chess game that the white race is playing. It's not. You have no control over it. There's nothing you're going to do. Get over it. It's just racism here.
Such thing as half African, our genes are dominant. So you got...
Oh, God, my latent racism is coming out. Let's get... Hey... Gotta say, if your genes are dominant, you're doing a shit job with geopolitical hegemony. Just gotta say, hey, I think it's about global circumstance. If you think your genes are dominant, then you're doing a real bad job expressing that in the global stage. Hoo boy. That's why I'm an environmentalist, my friends. Guys, I just gotta say, okay? Nazis, racists, dumb as fuck, alright? However, holy shit, why would you ever make the essentialist argument from the black perspective? Why would you ever do that? Why? Why would you ever do that? Oh my God, you know? It'd be like trying to make an argument in favor of women based on, like, average height or something. Like, it's so like, why would you ever? This is the stupidest possible fucking argument. Yeah, wait, by the way. First of all, have black people ever done anything for Japanese people? I don't know what that even means. By the way, why, what if black genes are dominant, wouldn't they want interracial marriage? Like, wouldn't that mean that eventually everyone would be black? I mean, if we're doing the one drop rule kind of thing, wouldn't interracial marriage just facilitate the slow spread of black, you know, phenotypical representation until eventually a huge portion of the planet is black? Like, I don't know. It seems a little contradictory. You'd think that's what he would want, right? Like white people should want no miscegenation so they can protect their pasty, white skin, and black racists should want the opposite. I don't know, like Japan. Her name is literally Osaka, and lives in Beverly Hills. Hey, I lived in Beverly Hills. It's not just representing her mother's country; it's representing where she was born. Her name is Naomi Osaka. Naomi Osaka, Japanese professional tennis player. First Asian player to hold top ranking in singles, as well as the first player from Japan to reach #1. Let's go to her personal life. Early life and background. Born in, you guessed it, Osaka, in Japan, to Tamaki Osaka and Leonard Francois. And her father is from Haiti. So she was born in Japan. He's getting angry that a Japanese woman born in Japan didn't rep Haiti when she wasn't in Haiti. Has she ever been to Haiti? Is there any other reference? Okay, we've got Haitian father, Haiti from the father, brought up in a household with some Haitian culture. My dad's Haitian, grew up in a Haitian household in New York. Haitian grandparents. That's it. It doesn't even mention her even being, like, going to Haiti. Like, okay.
Because
does she even have Haiti citizenship? Works? Can you just switch country? Just like, yeah, this year I'll represent this country and this year. I feel like the countries would mind that. I don't think they would like having a... What are you talking about? I don't think... This is why you shouldn't push values through pure hatred. Don't get me wrong. This guy's only political position is hating white people. I don't think he gives a fuck about black people. He's screaming about how a black woman is wrong for not, like, devoting her life to representing a country she's never been to. He's screaming that black people shouldn't marry the people they love, but instead marry people for political gain. He doesn't care about black people. He cares about hating white people, Everything else is an aesthetic flourish.
It was shot.
Oh yeah, this guy can't say cracker. If this guy says cracker, it's like me saying the N-word hard R, okay? Just to be clear, context matters, and if this guy says cracker, that shit's dropping with as much hate as any N-word could from a white person. Just making up a story in his head. This is not even remotely... If only this Japanese woman born in Japan had used her African DNA to represent Haiti, she could have saved Haiti. She could have moved the hurricane. She could have diverted the hurricane. She didn't. She let it hit. The earthquake. Why did she let the earthquake hit? What? The tsunami? Like, what the fuck is she gonna do? Oh, hold on. Naomi has spoken out for Haiti, so he's wrong. Oh! Well. Damn. This guy's just mad as shit, isn't he? This is from August 2021. This video was released in April 2021. Oh, maybe Naomi saw this video and then felt guilty and donated. Dr. Umar single-handedly got her to change her ways.
My sister. In fact, I would probably have more criticism for a father because it does not benefit the black community to be having all these mixed race babies.
This blood debt shit's hella common, even in watered down form. I've been saying this for years, and I love saying it, so I'll say it again. There are massive reactionary tendencies in the black community in America that nobody wants to talk about because progressive discourse is driven by white progressives who won't touch black issues with a 7-foot pole. Because white progressives are fucking way the fuck not going. They do not want to come anywhere close to that. So black progressives get roped in with white progressive discourse because white progressives are the ones who lead it, meaning that black reactionary discourse never meaningfully gets criticized by the hegemonic progressive forces, since it's led mostly by white progressives. There are black progressives who talk about this shit, but that is not a replacement for a holistic condemnation of serious negative trends. Anti-miscegenation, you gotta marry in, family, shit like that. Not that uncommon in a lot of black households, Not that uncommon. Okay, can I maybe take a guess? I could look like a total fool in this. What do you want to bet? This guy's a Pan-Africanist because he doesn't know shit about Africa or its incredible diversity of cultures, ethnicities, countries, and political situations, and he just thinks of black people in the same way that Nazis think of Europe as some homogenous white identity in spite of the fact that it's not. And a ton of them don't even understand that. They pretend that Europe hasn't been at war with itself for the entirety of its own history. They pretend that it's just one like massive Brazil. Like I think he just thinks black people. Like for him, Pan-Africanism is a way of mapping over the diversity of Africa. He wants it to be this homogenous block of politically identical black people. And in that respect, I'd say that he's actually not just Blitler, but regular Hitler, because that's a really fucking racist way of thinking of Africa. Ah, yes, Africa, you mean the dark continent, as in there are lots of black people there. All just black people, whatever, you know. This wasn't even the bit that I wanted to look at. This was what we were supposed to look at. This guy's basically a character called the Black Fuhrer of Harlem from Mother Night. I remember the Black Fuhrer of Harlem.
Okay, so y'all set me up. Go ahead.
You saying that up front. So my question is, the exact definition of hate speech is speech that offends, threatens, insults groups based on race, color, religion, natural origin, sexual orientation, disability, or other traits. That is the definition of hate speech. We can say all day long that we don't hate a particular type of person, but I want to know, how is that?
This dude is an idiot, but Pan-Africanism is not analogous to white nationalism. Real Pan-Africanism isn't. The idea that Africa shares a common history when it comes to the exploitation of colonial powers and that they should form a political or economic bloc based on that, there's nothing wrong with real Pan-Africanism. But a lot of people will use fake Pan-Africanism as a way of blocking together and essentializing entire racial groups. In the same way that you could refer to Pan-Europeanism as a kind of proto-European Union situation. I like the European Union as a concept. The idea of, freedom of travel across borders, economic bloc, blah, blah, blah. I think that's a good idea. I'm in favor of NAFTA as a concept. The idea of neighboring countries with some economic and political commonalities working together is one that I'm generally in favor of. However, the practical implementation of these ideas has been known to vary in the way they're referred to. Hold on. Not gonna lie, you're kind of wrong about Umar. There's hella to criticize about it, but not shit like he doesn't know about African diversity. No, my argument is that he doesn't care. I don't think he does. He's literally saying that, like, whatever, all black people are black. You're born in Japan, you're black, half black DNA, you're black. Like, this is a highly essentialist view of race. That is, I think, antithetical to any meaningful advocacy for, diversity in the recognition of that diversity in Africa. Yeah, it's literally like one drop rule shit. There's only so charitable I have to be with people like this, right? Vaush watches one clip and thinks he knows a guy. Oh, people chat being defensive. Uh-oh. Well, there's no better place than to learn about Dr. Umar than a conversation with Jesse Lee Peterson. Let's go.
Important that we understand the difference between the Negro
no video?
And the coon. Sister Tammy, this
okay. All right, strong opener here. Well, I guess we're not on Twitch, so
is a very important distinction that has to be made. The Negro is innocent in his ignorance, Sister Tammy. As Brother Michael said earlier, some people make mistakes against the race unknowingly. If you make a mistake against...
How charitable do I have to be to this guy again? Makes mistakes against the race? Do I have to be... There are really people in chat gonna be like, no, like, okay, if there are people in chat who think that I'm being unfair here, can you provide me a good take from this guy?
Against the race unknowingly, that was a Negro. Negroes are innocent. They think white people are more intelligent. They think Jesus is black because they haven't been taught any better. But a coon knows better. But the coon voluntarily identifies with his oppressor because there is an agenda that he's looking to get filled. And the sad thing about Jesse Lee Peterson is he is too old to be cooning at this point in his life. And the fact that he claims to be a man of God doing the devil's work makes him a total hypocrite.
Like Dr. Umar just said, he just spoke as a blind man. He has no idea what he's talking about because there's no such thing as slavery syndrome.
Jesse Lee Peterson is the only guy who could make Dr. Umar Johnson look good.
Or whatever he said. Our battle is a spiritual battle. It's either right or wrong, good or evil. And in the good old days, when boys were boys and men were men, men knew that, and they led their wives and children in the right way to go. And they did have a conduct of morality. They treated everyone they would like in the way that they would like to be treated, never mind the color. They taught their children how to work and be responsible and not blame and whine. And they didn't put it out there as though they couldn't make it. Dr. Umar Johnson just made up words.
That's the host. The lady's the host.
Reverend Jesse, I don't think we should suggest that one person knows more than the other in a sense of you saying you know it all and anyone else on the panel knows less. That's a little unfair.
Yeah, well, I may not know my flowers, but I know Dr. Umar Johnson is blind and that he's wrong. And he doesn't know God. So he's telling people words, fancy words, in order to deceive them. If you knew that our battle is a battle between good and evil, then you wouldn't make up.
Okay, wait. This person has a video?
Reverend Jesse, you say that there's no such thing as a sellout, but you can't admit that the word sellout does exist and that it is used, right?
Yeah, it is used.
This guy's last name is I'm Hotep. I'm all right, let's
just like the word racism. We all know that there's no such thing as racism. It's a word that made up to deceive the blind. And so when they use the word sellout, it's meant to divide and conquer. But if you're not in a fallen state, meaning that Satan is not your daddy, you can see the game that's being played. Like Dr. Umar just said, he just spoke as a blind man. He has no idea what he's talking about because there's no such thing.
Imhotep is not a Hotep. Damn, it's almost like it's a joke. Oh my God. It's almost like we're literally following the tracks of fucking the king of Hoteps, and I saw a last name that literally spells out I'm Hotep, and I made a joke. But thank you. Thank you for pointing out that it's not literally pronounced that way. You all must be incredibly fun at parties. Correcting memes on iFunny. That's not how that's pronounced.
Yeah, slavery syndrome or whatever he said. Our battle is a spiritual battle. It's either right or wrong, good or evil. And in the good old days, when boys were boys and men were men, men knew that, and they led their wives and children in the right way to go. And they did have a conduct of morality. They treated everyone they would like in the way that they would like to be treated, never mind the color. They taught their children how to work and be responsible and not blame and whine. And they didn't put it out there as though they couldn't make it. Dr. Umar Johnson just made up words.
Reverend Jesse, I don't think we should suggest that one
so
person knows more than the other. Less.
I was back in the plantation, but they weren't slaves when I was growing up. And the point is, Black people had a sense of morality then, and they loved what was right. They worked hard. They loved their country, and they didn't blame because the men were leading the way.
Hold that thought, Reverend Jesse.
Now the Black men saw like women.
Hold that thought, Reverend Jesse. Dr. Umar, go ahead. I don't want him to bring your name up and not allow you to respond.
It's okay. I had been on Reverend Jesse's show before, and they have been trying diligently to have me come back. And one of the reasons I did not return to the show is because I believe that Jesse Lee Peterson knows better. In fact, he would be a textbook definition of a sellout because he is the type of Black man who will bend over backwards to absolve the American white power structure of any responsibility for what happens to Black people. And like many sellouts, they always ignore or they try to retreat away from acknowledging the role that systemic racism plays in the life.
God damn it. The point here is that we're supposed to be disliking Umar, but any conversation with JLP is going to make the other person look smart. It's very unfair, you know? It's like we're trying to assess, you know, how good of a fighter somebody is, and we're like looking at like they're doing really bad in all these fights, and then we like see them fighting like a chicken, like a baby or something, you know? Like, hard to look bad here.
of Black people. Racism is not only about the individual mistreatment of Black people, it is about the systemic mistreatment of Black people. See, racism is a system that all white people participate in to disadvantage all members of another group. So you don't opt in, you don't opt out. And members of the target group don't opt.
Have you considered talking to destigmatizer? Don't ask me if I want to talk to somebody. Ask them if they want to talk to me, okay? I love talking to people, all right? Don't ask me, do you think you should talk to this bread? Ask them, okay? Don't ask me. Ask them.
In or opt out. But what they can do, as Jesse Lee Peterson has so effectively done in his career, is they can identify with the power structure. They can identify with white racism, and they can carve out a niche for themselves by defending the racism that is attacking Black people, as opposed to defending Black people against that racism. A Black...
Yeah, okay, he's only going to sound reasonable here. Fuck, I want...
That rhetoric any different than white folks that say that Black people are thugs, are mentally not together, that we are unintelligent? How is it possible? How is that not different as a Black man saying that Black feminists are ugly, saying that queer people are, you said it earlier, I can see you on tape. How is that different than saying that gay people are molested, that we are pedophiles? How is that any different than white people? He has said that online, and I have the video. Yes, you have. No, you did say that online.
I was accused and derided, as some of you guys know, because of my position on sexual confusion in the African American community.
Uh-oh.
And I understand
it's gonna be some buck-breaking shit. Like Nasheed.
we have a few visitors tonight, and I don't mind, okay, of that community. And so I think it's important that I clarify my perspective on Black homosexuality and lesbianism so that we're all crystal clear on where I stand.
Lesbianism.
Yes, it is true, I do not support it. Yes, it is true, I do not condone it. But it is absolutely false if anyone says that Dr. Umar Johnson hates any of my brothers and sisters who practice.
Yeah, okay, this is the same bullshit bigots always pull. Oh, I don't think Black people are worse than white people. I just think they're different, you know, and I think we should stay apart. I don't think women are worse than men, you know. I just think that we're different. I disagree strongly with the gay lifestyle, but I don't hate them. I don't care if you hate them. That's not the thing I care about.
A traditional life.
Listen, okay, I have been with enough gay people to know I hate gay people, all right? But I love them, and I support them, okay? That's the real supporter. The real pro-LGBT position is hating queers, but loving them, okay? And supporting them fully, all right? Because you hate those who are closest to you. Isn't it true? Real gays in my chat will know. Real gays in my chat will know, don't you? You guys know. Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
A non-traditional form of marriage.
Right, so my question is, how is this anti-woman, anti-gay rhetoric any different than white folks who say that Black people are dumb, that we're thugs? Homophobia is hate speech, and anti-womanness is hate speech.
Bad upfront argument from her. I mean, she's right, but it's hard sell for a crowd.
You
can.
All right. Now, first, we got to take the emotionalism out of it. We're going to be able to dialogue. Okay? I'm going to respond, but for the sake of time, I'm going to answer everybody's question. And if you like, when I'm done, me and you can have a private, respectful conversation. Okay? Now. Okay. Well,
this is misogyny, by the way. This dude is crazy fucking emotional when he talks. She was very leveled when she said that.
This one I'm going to go through, then we can come back to it if you want to have that conversation. Number one, and because I got ADHD, I didn't remember everything, but I think I can get to most of the highlights of what you said. First, you said homophobia.
Yes.
Homophobia means being afraid of gays, but I'm not afraid he's going to do that, isn't he? He's actually going to...
Oh, you're going to tell me that it's a mental illness from an outdated DSM-3 that was abolished in 1973? Don't try it.
That's like history.
This is not the DSM-5.
DSM-5?
This is the DSM-5.
Oh, that we're mentally ill. Go ahead. Go ahead. I just want to hear you answer the question.
that homosexuality was a mental illness in this book until 1974. But since you brought it up, I'll start with that. If you read the American Psychiatric Association position paper on the removal of homosexuality from this book as a mental illness, and I have it, it's available online. It clearly says that we did not change this classification because we had sufficient evidence to prove that people were born this way. So one of the questions that got to be dealt with from the Eurocentric mental health framework that we're dealing with this issue in, why was it removed? Now, having said...
Oh, he's going to do the conspiracy. He's going to say that gay people like used political pressure to get the definition changed, as opposed to... He's going to say lab coats, yeah.
That, I picked up the book to ask you on what page is the mental illness homophobia.
Going to kill myself. It's been a fun run. This was good. Yep. Also, I had to pee. I'm glad I went back there, too, because it seems Artemy pulled open all of the bathroom drawers, so that was fun. Kind of wish I had seen him do that, because it's really cute, you know? They, like, reach their little paws in the rim, and they pull it out and stuff. Oh, by the way, I have a personal theory, okay? So right now, the last thing... No, Vermin. The last thing he said was, where in the DSM is homophobia listed, and I think the only reason he said that was because he was going to bring up the fact that it was listed as a mental illness, homosexuality, until the 70s, and then she pointed it out, and then he, like, laughed it off for 20 seconds so he could have time to think of another rhetorical. I think she read him like a book, and he had to, like, pause and wait for a minute.
It's not a mental illness. It's a disease, just like racism is a disease.
Who defined homophobia as a disease? This is the authority of mental illness. Where is the diagnosis homophobia?
So the response here is, if you consider racism to be a disease, it's also not in the DSM-5 or in any medical textbook. That's not what we mean when we say disease. Quit being an idiot.
It's not a diagnosis. It's a state of being. It's a state of being.
Phobia.
It's
a phobia.
Yep.
A phobia is in this book.
Okay, so hate speech
and a
against
phobia,
gay people.
let me.
Okay.
Phobia is fear.
Yep.
Simple phobia, any type of claustrophobia, it's a fear. You said homophobia. I'm not afraid of nobody.
Yeah, literally that. This is like fucking 50 IQ bull. I can't believe I haven't heard this since I was in high school. This is insanely stupid. They love it. They love it too, because any guy who would watch this dumbass talk is probably just as stupid as he is.
I've been asked by homosexuals and lesbians to have conversations with them on their radio shows. I normally accept the invitation for respectful dialogue. I don't run from the opportunity if it's going to be respectful. Now, I stand by my position as a psychologist, as an educator, as a therapist for normally 20 years. And in 95% of the cases of gay and lesbians I personally know and met and worked with, most of them were victims of sexual abuse as children.
Hey, there we go. I feel like it's highly unethical to say that essentially every LGBT person who has gone to you has been abused as a child, because you're kind of implicitly disclosing a lot of information right there. Yeah, we're running through all the talking points. Also, by the way, he's lying. There are a number of reasons why this is a really bad way of determining information like this. First of all, even if that was the case and all homosexuality was a product of abuse, that doesn't mean that people who are homosexual should be stigmatized. That's not how that works, you know? That'd be like saying you should stigmatize people with PTSD because most of them were abused. Like, what? No? What? Second of all, as a therapist, it is your job to deal with people who are mentally unwell. You're going to see a higher preponderance of people with trauma. It's a massive sampling bias. Third of all, what kind of gay person would go to Dr. Umar Johnson, noted person who is out here talking about how he does not support gay and lesbian people? He's a public figure who is openly anti-LGBT. So something tells me there might be an even more severe sampling bias for the queer people who visit him. I'd be willing to bet virtually none actually do, and he's probably talking about a string of anecdotes that he's half remembering across a 20-year career used to justify bigotry. Why is it that every single bigot just happens to have personal experiences in a unverifiable way, by the way, that contradict a data on the subject, you know? Isn't that a wonderful convenience that all the people who politically would gain from lying about their experiences just happen to have experiences that, you know, contradict the broader perspective on the issue?
I'm speaking not what some white person wrote in some research study. I'm telling you what I know amongst...
White person wrote in a research study. This is lab coats. This is Nazi talk right here. Yeah, I'm not talking about what some Jew wrote in the DSM. I'm talking about real experience. This is Nazi talking point right here. Anti-intellectualism. He's willing to invoke the standards of academia when it's convenient to him, and he's going to reject it when it's not.
Black folk, it is a pathology born of childhood sexual victimization. Denial is at the root of all mental illness. It's easy to...
No, it's not. What? Denial is the root of all mental... Isn't this guy a psychiatrist? No, it's absolutely not. That's not... What?
Say, I was born like this, so I don't have to deal with the pain that triggered it. Now...
What? No? That's not how that works at all.
I never said that because you are gay, you want to prey on children sexually. Now, do you have a strong case of homosexuals and lesbians who prey on children? Look at the Roman Catholic Church. We don't have to debate whether or not folks who are sexually confused who may also prefer children.
So I'm not going to say that gay and lesbian people like to prey on children, but I'm going to say it anyway. So what he's doing right now is he's making the same argument. I think there was a study done in the 1980s which was trying to determine whether or not people with pedophilic predilections are more likely to be homosexual. And what it found is that in spite of the fact that only 5 to 10% of the male population is attracted to men, about 50% of child abuse cases perpetrated by men are done against little boys. So the argument made then was half of all pedophiles are gay, therefore they have a massive overrepresentation in the pedophile demographic. The question which was not brought up by that wonderful study was, is it possible that pedophiles just tend not to care about the gender of the kid they abuse? That pedophilia tends to express itself in ways outside the otherwise present sexual identities, which is why you have so many stories of men who are clearly heterosexual and live as heterosexual their entire lives, but still sexually abuse young boys, which happens all the time in the Catholic Church. It's not that the priesthood is full of closet gays, it's that the priesthood is full of pedophiles, and pedophiles prey on children, the gender of which doesn't seem to be as important to them. So there's your answer in case you ever hear that argument again in the future. This is a long debunked talking point for decades, but he's bringing it up just as like Reaganite doctors justifying the AIDS crisis did back in the day by equating homosexuals to child predators. Unrepentantly hateful and stupid man. I can't believe there were people in chat who were defending him. There weren't many. You know, still.
But am I going to wholesale indict the whole population and say because you gay you want to molest children? I've never said that. I've never said that, and I never will say that. I'm very responsible with my words. Now, you drew a comparison that I wouldn't disagree with. You said how...
Yeah, I don't think this guy is an actual practicing psychologist, by the way. I'm looking at his stuff right now. He probably has the doctorate, He probably has the doctorate in psychology or psychiatry. I don't care which, you know. Philadelphia College of Osteopathic Medicine. But apart from that, it seems like all of his social media presence online is about speaking gigs and stuff like that, you know? Live shot, vision, stuff like that. Yeah, he's writing books and stuff. FDMG membership. Well, what does that stand for? The Honorable Marcus Garvey Elementary School of the FDMG Academy. There we go. Naturally. Naturally. Obviously, of course. No denying it, no doubting it. Okay, what is this FDMG Academy? Is this a literal... FDMG Academy Grand Opening, August 23rd, 2019. This is a Reddit post from 2 years ago with 2 likes. Is this an actual school that he's building? Is this like a physical location? Looks like they're building a physical location. This looks like a publicity stunt if I've ever seen one. Holy shit. Yeah, wow. Here we go. Okay, all I see is a bunch of low-res photos being pulled from Facebook, but it looks like they're just talking about building a school, like this, but like I don't see any official documentation on it, so it just looks like there's a building and people are posting about it. Some of these pictures look pretty funny too, like here he is. I assume that he's repping what will be the gymnasium. He's got the P.O. box, but he's also got his own website here, which is mostly about repping his brand as opposed to the school itself. Seems a bit weird to open a school and advertise it through yourself, as opposed to, like, on its own. Yeah, I don't know. Wait, there's a lot going on here. Hold on. Dr. Umar. Wait, this is from a YouTube video. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. This is from a YouTube video, the title of which is Money Making Motivation. Is this a cult?
We're going Dr. Umar Johnson. And let's get into that too. For him and for you as well. And one of the things that one of the lenders I'm going to show you guys will give you $5 million if you are moving locations. Watch this, guys, okay? Moving locations. They will give you $5 million.
Okay. Here is an article on it from the Black Identity and Health in African People International website, which, oh boy, what a name. This is from 2018. Why Dr. Umar's FDMG Academy is the most requested school in America. I doubt that numbers-wise, but... in the end of 2013, Dr. Umar first introduced the idea of opening up a residential academy for black boys at the Meeting of the Minds think tank in Norfolk, Virginia meeting. During this meeting, Dr. Umar and members of the black community brainstormed different schools that were up for sale and which would make a good location for that academy. One of the schools was St. Paul's College, historically black college, opened in 1888 by James Solomon Russell, freed slave and friend of Booker T. Washington. It was going up for auction, a negotiated bid for $3 million, 4% down payment. Dr. Umar was invited to negotiate a deal. Here's shit about his license. He doesn't have one. I had to argue he wasn't advertised a real psychologist. Wait, really? Of fucking course, dude. This guy is Alex Jones tier. What a fucking lolcow. Holy shit. Hey, here's the question. Why the fuck am I only hearing about this guy today? I know I'm white. Why aren't more white people tearing into this guy? Are you really that scared? It is, isn't it? Guys, I bet you a ton of people of color in my audience knew who the fuck this guy was. Because he's irrelevant? No, he ain't. No, he's not. That video of him on the podcast from earlier this year we looked at had like 250,000 views. He's not irrelevant at all. Just imagine that futuristic utopia, you know? That's the world when white progressives can tear into crazy black conservative grifters, okay? I feel like most white progressives would listen to this guy and would back off the nanosecond he said something about like systemic racism or the white man keeping him down. I feel like they would immediately back up. They'd be like, "Well, yeah, racism is real." Like, you know what I mean? Oh my God. Here's a 50K like tweet making fun of him. Hold on. Oh my God, we've got so much to tear into. Do you think it'd be too racy to make, like, the title would be, like, Dr. Umar, the Black Alex Jones? I honestly don't think it's that far off. It feels pretty relevant.
Energy, anger. Thug energy is normally anger and pain. That's all it is. I know, because I do therapy with them thugs. And once they see I ain't scared of them, then we can have a conversation. And fellas, I want to be clear now. When we go back to take over the community, because we're going to have to do it, gentlemen, you can't expect the cops to fix this, because they started it. But I want to be clear. And I know some of us love our children, but some of our children are so far gone that we're going to have to put some of them to sleep in order to take back the neighborhood. Some of y'all don't want to hear that because you don't live in reality. But I'm telling you, as a psychologist, I'm not going to be able to psychologize all of them on the corner. Some of them going to sleep. For God! Got the...
I will eat your leftist ass. Eat it like a corn cob. Holy shit. Well, apparently he's not a psychologist. Umar Johnson's taking a break. The popular Philadelphia-bred pundit has just finished a four-city Kwanzaa tour. He spoke on special occasion, Black Uplift, holiday season, rally for himself. His primary Facebook and GoFundMe have been suspended, he told his audience, and he faces discipline from Pennsylvania's Board of Psychology. The State Bureau of Professional and Occupational Affairs has charged Johnson, known as Dr. Umar, with portraying himself on his website as a psychologist who practices counseling services without a state license to do either. If that's proved, the board... So this motherfucker has never treated a person in his life, has he? He hasn't, has he? He got a doctorate, and then he skedaddled out of there and went to get into the political game. The whole range of queer people he supposedly talked to. Not legally. Yeah, maybe illegally, like fucking back alley services or some shit. In 2014, Johnson shared his vision of converting a defunct Virginia historically black college into a boarding school he would name the Frederick Douglass. Holy fuck, can you imagine going to a black boarding school run by this guy? Holy shit, I can't even imagine the hijinks that you would get up to. Holy fuck. He would name the Frederick Douglass and Marcus Garvey RBG International Leadership Academy for Black Boys. Johnson regularly describes himself as a relative of Douglass, another claim that critics dispute. Dude, he's Blitler. Oh my God. The dubious, like, the dubious connection to like historical figures, the obsession with blood. He's Blitler. Oh my God. He set a $5 million fundraising goal that he hoped hit by August, but didn't. He'd been raising money on GoFundMe and recently said they'd hit around 400,000 before their campaign was suspended. This comes after accusations prominently argued on The Root that Johnson's fundraising lacked transparency and his organization lacked 501c3 status. Seriously? He didn't even have a fucking corporate or like a company to... Was it just being filled to his bank account directly? Johnson, who has described himself as Black America's #1 most requested scholar orator, couldn't decide on one there, the Prince of Pan-Africanism, and the foremost expert on the school-to-prison pipeline, has experienced waves of criticism along his rise to national fame. Many social media users have lambasted his political and philosophical views, among them strong condemnations of homosexuality, interracial marriage, and ADHD medication. His detractors have long... Oh! Thank you for the reminder, sir. Mr. Blittler, sir. Thank you. He gets shitted on constantly by black libs and lefties. And I'm mad, because this guy's funny as fuck. Why are white people being left out of the game? Are you hoarding the content for yourselves? This is the real black privilege, hoarding all the crazy black people content for your own goddamn Twitter posts. His detractors have long questioned whether the degrees he lists were earned and whether he scammed the public by calling for donations for the public school or for the boarding school. His fans, however, hear a uniquely clear thinker dedicated to the uplift of black children who has been unfairly maligned. Oh, they're like Vaushites. This is what I look like to other people, man. Like my list of crimes, and it's like, but he has a dedicated following of people who think he's been unfairly misaligned. God. The Root verified in July that Johnson has a doctorate in clinical psychology, right? Johnson was notified of the state investigation in August. In a response that month, Johnson explained he worked as a school psychologist for the school district of Philadelphia, Chester Upland School District, and various charter schools, which required certifications as a school psychologist, but not a state license to practice psychology. Although a Department of State spokeswoman said Tuesday his hearing had been postponed because Johnson's lawyer requested a continuance. She says Wednesday it was back on. Johnson refused to answer a reporter's questions. In brief comments, he said he was tired of the despicable coverage of him from mainstream media. Recent YouTube video, he claimed he grew up in North Philadelphia near 8th Street and Quahana Avenue. He described a childhood where at least once he stayed in a homeless shelter, where he quite loved watching movies at the neighborhood theater. A decade ago, he was a registered speaker at Black & Noble, the black-owned bookstore at Broad Street and Erie Avenue. Hakeem Hopix, Black & Noble's owner, lamented Johnson's recent plight and noted that Johnson doesn't need a license to deliver his message online. Others have affiliated Johnson with the Hotep political movements. And so on and so forth. Black & Noble. You fucking called it? I fucking called it. Got an instinct. Let me take a look at Black & Noble. Okay. Well, the first thing I'm seeing as I open this is not books, but sea moss gold gel. We ship to prisons. What are we? I assume this would be a bookstore. Half a pound of sea moss gold. Is this like a supplement store? Affiliates program. Wait, is this a pyramid scheme? Become a seller. This is... Oh my God. Dude, it's a fucking MLM. Not men loving men. Not Marxist-Leninist Maoist. Affiliate program. We send you a referral link. You share this link with family, friends, and your social media accounts. Become a seller. Wait, hold on. Holy fuck. Become a seller. Instant traffic in your product-placed mobile app and website. Wait, I want to know, what is the... Literally, it's Alex Jones tier. Health and wellness. Knowledge and books. And in this section we have, well, obviously, you know, race-related stuff. 100 amazing facts about the black person. Can't say that. I can, but I won't. So we've got the books, or the blooks, as they're no doubt referred to here. We've got sea moss and gold products, which, okay, I'm sorry if I'm being racist. Is this like a hair product? I have no fucking idea what this is. No, it's not. This is by far the best quality and best price of any sea moss gel that is available. Really? I've looked and tried many. I sleep better like a baby and feel rested during the day. My libido is through the roof. This is literally like the supplement page for InfoWars. Holy shit. It's literally all the reviews are... These are reviews put here, by the way, by the people who sell them. All of these are reviews that would be left by, like, ops. This is by far the best quality. I'd like to thank Black & Noble for their fast, prompt delivery. I've never experienced such professional service. I feel lost when I run out of sea moss and immediately order more. Try it. You'll immediately feel the difference and your body will thank you. Yeah, fucking all... Have you ever checked Amazon comments? Nobody uses good punctuation, okay? These were all written here by the fucking seller. Do you rub it on your dick? I have no fucking idea. Can you leave a review? Wait, can you leave a review? Hold on. What do you have to do to leave a review? Write a review. Name, email, rating, review title, body of review. Low-flying plane. Holy shit. Okay. Vaush. Video at Gmail. You can get 911. .com. Rating. 3 stars. Review title. How do you use this thing? Am I supposed to eat it or what? Submit review. Okay. So I submitted the review. It says, thank you for writing and submitting a review. And unsurprisingly, there are still 17 reviews. Something tells me they have an approval process, methinks. Refresh. I refreshed. Oh my god. Do you see that? Look at the 17. They hide it. It's there. It's listed on the HTML. That wasn't there before. It hides it. Holy shit. Do another one. Wait. Okay, hold on. Wait, can I do another? Write a review. Hold on. Enter your name. Vaush. Sussy Wussy Baka Waka. There we go. Okay, now if I do this, will it jump to 19? Not all fields have been filled. Oh, I didn't do the rating. There we go. There we go. Wait! Guys, we've been owned. It showed. We made it through. I guess it just took a while to verify on the back end or like something. Now the Sussy Wussy one is going to come through. I would have bet anything that this wouldn't have shown. They're probably going to remove it pretty soon, you know. Oh yeah, see, yep, there we go. Sussy Wussy Baka Waka. How do you use this thing? There we go. Oomphy Famous. Why'd you use Vaush as your name? Because that is my name. All right, what are the other sections on this website? We have gone down such a rabbit hole. We have gone down such a rabbit hole on this. He apparently married 2 women simultaneously. Yeah, I saw that. He's in a polygamous relationship. Those 2 women better be black after the shit he was talking, by the way. Okay, so we have all this CMOS crap. Health and wellness. Elderberry syrup. More CMOS. I don't know what this CMOS stuff is. More CMOS. More CMOS. It's all CMOS crap. I don't know what it is. Knowledge DVDs. Alkaline versus acidity. What are natural foods? A.A. Rashid decoding occult symbolism in film. Oh my god. It's like finding out if a Jew made your film or something. Like, occult symbolism. Metaphysics of the Kabbalah. Protocols of liberty. Black is the color of divinity. This is all Blittler shit, man. Moorish Zodiac Constitution. This is all designed. Please look up Dr. Sebi, More Health and CMOS. He's the face of black health misinformation. This is literally Black Alex Jones tier. This is fucking amazing. This is all meant to appeal to people with deep mental illnesses. Okay, Dr. Sebi, CMOS. Dr. Sebi explains real sea moss. Oh, as opposed to the fake
sea
stuff.
moss grows very thick and very fast. And when you get a little bit of it and you put it in the pot, it gives you a whole lot of mucilage.
Oh, it was the other earbud.
The natural sea moss doesn't give you a whole lot of mucilage. And the talus of the sea moss, I mean the little strings, thin like this, very thin, just like this. But the other one is 3 times the size. And the other one, 3 times the size, it always has salt on it.
What are we talking about? This is just going to be more crazy Alex Jones shit, probably. I so loved Sebi. He was a blessing on this earth. We are still learning from him. He is missed. They killed your flesh, not your soul. Bought Irish sea moss. He was an angel on earth. Yeah, do you smoke it? I don't know. Jesus. The reviews are flooded. Oh wait, are you guys contributing to the discourse? What product did we click on? Which one of these did I click on? Was it this one? Gold sea moss? Yeah, all of these are gold sea moss. Which one? This? Oh, here we go. 31 reviews. Oh shit, you guys are actually dropping the average review score. It actually does live update the review score. Sea moss is commonly used in Jamaica. They just turned it into a marketing scheme. Okay, yeah, well that makes sense, right? Like, if you look at the shit that's in, like, the InfoWars supplements, you can pay $80 for, like, some vitamins that are actually good for you. But, like, they'll sell it to you at 10 times the price, and they'll sell it to you with a bunch of other crap. It's about taking a regular health benefit and turning it into some weird cult shit. Mega sus. Order corn. Coom? Incredible lube. My boyfriend loves it. Nah, fuck you guys. We ship to prison. Urban novels. What the fuck is an urban novel? These are regular novels. Quit being racist. Skin hair products. I don't know anything about black hair or skin care, so I can't even tell what's real and what's fake. Children's books. How did I not see this? What if there were no black folks? You've got a kid looking and thinking about it. Uncle Huey activity book. Uncle Nelson, Uncle Bob. Okay, so we've got a lot of uncles and aunts. Uncle Yasuke. Hey, they made an anime about this guy. Nice. Oh, do they have Marcus? Was Marcus up here? Yep, there he is, right there in the top middle, wearing exactly what you'd expect a fascist to wear. Thank you. Uncle Marcus. That's right. He worked with the KKK and wanted fascism. Let's go. Uncle Martin? These guys would hate Martin Luther King. All right, whatever. We are so into the fucking weeds right now, dude. Holy shit.
Was me disagreeing with homosexuality. How is that any different from the white man saying black folks was dumb and stupid and this and that? You know what the difference is?
What?
No, that was lies about us. That could be proven. You wrong. I don't denigrate or downgrade black gays and lesbians. Why would I do that? Do you realize black gay men have one of the highest suicide rates in America?
Because of speech like what you...
No.
True.
If what you say is true.
Shame and silence.
Listen,
Why
you're being emotional, my queen.
What about before he was even born? What about before he was even born?
Thank you, sir.
Then other people like him. Wait, are these guys... How do these people put their pants on in the morning? Yeah, they kill themselves disproportionately because of speech like that. Well, then why did they kill themselves before Dr. Umar was even born? Well, maybe other people were saying similar things at the time. And it's not just specifically Dr. Umar, the only black homophobe. What are you talking about? Oh my God.
Well, okay, what about 100 years ago, 200 years ago?
What about it?
What about 200 years ago? Was there homophobia 200 years ago, you crazy lady? You silly woman. Was there homophobia 200 years ago? Come on. 200 years ago. Honestly.
There's no argument.
I'm asking you. I mean, but you said him.
Exactly.
So what about what was going on before he was born?
He inherited it and he decided to continue the
How?
conversation.
They literally think she's been caught in a trap. You claim that he's perpetuating a problem, but the problem has existed before he was around. How do you explain this? Like a white person's up there and they're like, "You're a racist, whitey," and they're like, "Well, if I'm racist, then how was racism around before I was born?" And like all these the guys in the audience would just like, I don't, what would they have to do? Like slam their heads against the chair until they bust their skulls open? Like what? Feel like it's like introducing a logical contradiction to a robot. You know, I don't know how they respond.
Stay with me. It is a political fact for anyone with common sense.
Oh,
it is a political fact for anyone with common sense. Dr. King was assassinated in 1968. Black Panther Party was destabilized in 1972. Homosexuality became normal in 1974. It is a political fact that homosexuality was declassified as an illness so it could be used to take over the black civil rights struggle.
Ah, there we go. Yep. It's the buck breaking. Yes, it is a fact. Thank you. Yes. The Psychiatric Association removed homosexuality from the DSM in order to destroy black rights half a decade after the Civil Rights Act was passed. Brilliant. Don't you think they would have done it earlier? Like, say, for example, 63? 64? See, like, oh yeah, King is dead. The Black Panther Party's destabilized. The Civil Rights Act has been passed, you know. Now let's do it. What a well-coordinated plot that must have been.
LBGT is what they call the new black. We know it's not black, but they're using it to ignore the black agenda in deference of the LBGT agenda.
LBGT. Hey, chat, rep if you're black now because you're LGBT. Rep it. Me too. That's right. We're the new black. Let's go.
The only minority issue that matters in this country. Now let me ask you a question, my queen.
What is buck breaking? It's a common talking point. It's a common talking point from the Blitler types that queer rights are just a way for white people to ignore the black struggle. Dave Chappelle was making this argument, and I bet Dave Chappelle would agree with a lot of what he's saying here. Dave Chappelle made the argument that, like, white people invented trans people in order to get out of having to deal with racism or something. Like, it's a fairly common argument. In reality, it's just standard reactionary drivel, paired with the fact that black people are legitimately maligned along their race. So it's all the reactionary talking points, except they get to throw on the, you know, the sort of their black identity as a cloak or kind of reflexive defense as a way of legitimizing their points.
Since we're talking about freedom of speech and people's rights and looking out for those who are being oppressed and denied their opportunity, where the hell was the LBGT movement when Michael Brown was murdered? Where the hell was
Literally zero IQ in this room. Combined, fucking the brain cells are just, it's like just Eris molecules bouncing around. There were. Also, for a huge portion of the time that the civil rights movement was taking place, gay people stayed fucking closeted because there were literal laws that they would run afoul of if they didn't. Like, how the fuck do you know whether or not gay people were supporting this civil rights cause or another? You don't fucking know. A lot of them could have lost their jobs or their you know, they could have been disowned by their parents if they came out. Like, you have no fucking idea. This is a meaningless talking point. Oh, by the way, I'll just say it. If black rights is so fragile that the existence of queer people destroys it, then black rights don't deserve to exist. Sorry, I'll say the same shit about that as people talk about America. Like, you know, America's being destroyed by interracialism, whatever the fuck. If you think that little of, like, the civil rights struggle, that it can be fucking obliterated by the existence of queer people, then that's a weak-ass civil rights struggle, okay?
Where we go?
don't speak out against what goes on with black folks.
Answer that for you.
No, you
I've
don't.
been to Ferguson. I've started organizations here, and maybe
You're talking about you. I'm talking about that movement.
Guess what? The 3 women that started Black
Movement.
Lives Matter, both Patrice and Alicia, are queer black women, and they are making
talking
sure.
about individuals.
I am talking
I'm talking about
3
your
women.
population.
I am talking about 3
They
women
do
that started
not
this movement.
speak out against white.
Yes.
See, right here, okay? When they're the good ones, they're individuals, and when they're the bad ones, they're the population. He's so fucking mad, dude. Holy shit. Also, by the way, aren't queer people far more likely to be progressive? Like, LGBT people are way more likely to be aligned with racially progressive causes than non-LGBT people. Like, massively. There's a huge statistical bias in favor of that. So, mathematically, straight people are the ones not supporting the gay causes. By the way, every single black person who was a conservative I have ever met, except for, I suppose, Gazi Kodso, has been straight, and every black person actively fighting in favor of civil rights that I've ever met has been or at least every LGBT black person I've ever met has been actively in favor of black civil rights. So we're, like, in terms of statistical bias here.
Supremacy. And the reason LBGT does not, I'm not talking about you as an individual, but the reason why the LBGT movement does not speak out against white supremacy is because they are part of it. Here's my number 4.
Zero IQ. You can make this argument about anything. There's no data here. They just don't like queer people. It's simple. He's just afraid of gay people. Homophobia. You want to teach critical race theory? Why not teach in the black community, inside the black church, the HBCU, or the neighborhood? Why are we once again begging white people to validate our truth? What? Hey, you want to teach critical race theory? Here's my $50 book. $50 book! I thought at first this was like admission to the speaking event. No, it says $50 per copy. $50 book. He returns to Dallas, Texas. Confusing, considering there's a silhouette of the continent of Africa behind this. Why would you put the silhouette of Africa behind the part of the poster that's meant to designate where you go? Dallas, Texas, Africa? The actual event is free. The book is what costs. Aldi's nuts. Afribian restaurant. First visit since 2018. 113 likes. Brilliant stuff. Somebody linked this. I don't know why they linked this. What is this? Saw that clip. Dr. Umar returns to Baltimore. Sunday, November. Community conversation. Q&A Black Parent Advocate book release. It's the same book, by the way. Umar, Baltimore. Wow, 16 likes. Whew. Rough out here. Rough out here in the content mines, huh? Better go visit him when he stops in Seattle. Yeah, some good content, no doubt. All right. That's enough. We've dove down a wild rabbit hole today. We got to pull out. We got to pull out, okay? We got to pull back. Got to pull out like fucking Dr. Umar's dad should have.